Okay, hello to all the Opulence Lifestyle family members, the ones that are here with us live and the ones that are watching this recording at home after. First message, come live, support this call, help us all to raise the numbers. It's not the same as just watching the recording at home. Participate, don't just view from the side, and the more you participate, the more you will grow. So that's the first message to everybody. We are today on our third forensic lifestyle training. And last time we have finished the middle part of the 8 categories of involvement. And very quickly, the 8 categories, the lottery group, people that pretty much think that they've bought a lottery ticket and they hope Lady Luck will make it happen for them. They're not running a business. They're not going to earn money. And thank God we have great products in our industry, so at least they can enjoy their products. Weekend Wanderers are usually very well tailored, very good speakers. They come in, they usually bring 20, 30 people with them, and they expect to make $1 million over the weekend. Obviously, when they don't do that, they're off to the next adventure, the next deal they can close. They leave a lot of casualties behind them. And they're not running a business. They will make spurts of money when they convince people to spend money, but never stay long enough to teach those people how to make money out of what they invested. They're not running a business, hoping they enjoy at least the products of our industry, which are remarkable. Slave driver groups are usually the people that come into your business and bring you a box of business cards they've collected over the years and expect you to call and put people in their business and literally tell you to send them links and always tell you what to do for them, instead of actually learning, learning as fast as possible and becoming teachers. They usually will just expect other people to do the things that they need to do themselves. Obviously, they're not running a business. They're not going to make money, so they better enjoy our products in our industry because we have really good products. Social group, very quickly, obviously, a large percentage of our industry are social group networkers. We love social group networks. They have the best attitude. They're always volunteered to the registration table. They love everybody. Everybody loves them. They're the life of the party in almost every event. And they are very important for our industry. Okay, now they do not work with a calendar. They don't work specific. And they're really not there because they want money. They're there because they want the social attribute of being a part of a family, a part of a network, to always have people to talk to, and a good reason, to socially expand your circles. They're not running a business as so they won't make money, but they're going to have a lot of friends. They are a significant force in our industry. And as long as they don't expect to make money, it's all good. It's all fine, and we love them. And hoping that they enjoyed the products in our industry, we have phenomenal products. The Sun-Timer Group are actually the majority of the workforce of network marketing. They represent almost 90%. And it's dangerous to be a Sun-Timer because most Sun-Timers actually think they are part-time. And they are not part-time, they're Sun-Time because they don't work with a calendar. They don't work organized 20 to 25 hours a week like a part-timer. They sometimes will show the business or a product in the elevator. They'll get demotivated. They'll go to an event or something. They'll get again motivated. They'll do something for 2 weeks. They'll stop again. They sometime will make money. They are not running a business. And let's hope that they enjoy the product of our industry because they are very, very good. Now, part-time group is the first group that is professional. They work 20 hours a week. They register in their calendar their income generating activities. They follow a duplicatable system, and they do almost everything right. And usually they will get to about $10,000 a month in about 12 to 18 months. The only difference between the part-time and the part-time serious is that the part-time serious will invest an extra 5 hours a week in expanding their network, in management, in supporting their leaders, in going and spending a half an hour on Zoom or a coffee in a coffee shop with every leader at least once a week. They will really invest the extra needed to really become professional enough to eventually move to full-time network marketing. So the part-time series, as I said, will work 25 hours in a week. They will be excited and exhausted. They will achieve 10 grand or more in 12 to 18 months. And really, they are the best lead to full-time. Now, full-time is where we really went over last time. It was very long, and I would like one of our panelists to volunteer to read, and we'll go through it slower this time. So do I have any volunteers on the panel list that would like to read? Improve their English.
I can do that.
There you go, Christine from Germany, LD1. Please go ahead and start until I'll stop you in the middle. And we can
Okay. Okay, so the full-time group shares many similarities with the part-time series group. Most full-time distributors started as part-time or part-time series on their way to full-time. However, there is one serious danger that full-time distributors face, which sometimes can lead to financial turmoil. The industry's common teaching is to work your MLM business on a part-time basis until you can replace your full-time income, job, or your traditional business. Then quit your full-time income and build your MLM business full-time. That sounds great, and it is the objective of millions of MLMers. The danger here is that until the Forensic Networkers program was introduced, no one was providing these ambitious MLMers with a full-time business plan.
Okay, let's stop for a second and let's cover this. This is very, very, very important. The first thing that it's always recommended, usually as a part-time series, you really want to earn almost 3 times more income than your first income. That means if you have a job or you're running a business and you're thinking of quitting the job or quitting the business, your part-time series should pay 3 times the earnings before you take such a step. Why? Because as we see here, it is dangerous to go full-time, because as full-time, what you do is you get rid of an income stream which was your job, right? Now you have only the income that you're making in this business. And if your business is making the same as your job, all you did is replace income. You got rid of your job and now you have the same income. You didn't increase your lifestyle, right? You have the same income. So never really leave your job or your businesses too early. And even when you made 3 times more and you do make the decision, such as LD3 Ifra Hassan, and she can share with us, she made a decision to leave her job, right? And to go, in my opinion, to a full-time position. So Ifra can very soon share with us at what point, because it's probably not a simple decision, not an easy decision, and we need to have something stable enough that gives us the security to actually make that choice, that decision. Okay, so now let's go and see, Christine, why is it dangerous? What are the things that will happen to us once we become full-timers if we don't pay attention?
Okay. The distributors are told to continue to work their part-time business plan by simply doing more of the same. I have seen over and over again distributors who started part-time and quickly replaced their full-time income with their company's part-time business plan and quit their jobs. When that happens, the newfound freedom will sidetrack their focus as they start to enjoy the fun things in their lives. Some even fall back into the sometime group category.
Stop.
When they find it, okay.
Stop. That's very, very important. Okay, so people come, they start making $10,000, $20,000 a month. Now they quit their job. And instead of actually working harder in their business, they start to fly. They start to have a good time. They start to spend money. They buy more expensive cars. They take some shots, put it on social media to try and show everybody, oh, look how great we're doing. But without paying attention, they fall into sometime group. Without paying attention, suddenly they're having a great time. And I know I was there. And now I'm sometimes showing someone a product, but mainly I'm dancing and partying and having a good time and spending a lot more money than I used to spend in the past, right? So what happened when we go back to sometime group, Christine? Does sometime group make money?
No.
Sometimes. Sometimes I
Sometimes.
make a little bit of money. So now my income is dropping. I don't anymore have the security of the job income or my other business that I quit. And I'm not paying attention. It's actually going slower and low because I'm too busy partying, not connecting with my team, not working even harder than I did before. Now I am in an illusion that I found freedom and that this thing will maintain itself. It's a big mistake that we all do. Learn from our past experience. The last time I have done this in my last company, I lost a group of 17,000 people. So we learn, we grow, and we share, like I do with you today. Okay? It is us that made the most mistakes, the most terrible mistakes, that actually stayed long enough to learn from them and to achieve very good incomes. It never happens on its own. Now, let's continue. Now that we understood what happened when we fall into a sometime group, please continue, Christine.
When they finally decide to get back to work, they become very confused because they don't know what to do. The reason for the confusion is that working MLM part-time is totally different business from doing it part-time. Part-time members can get away with doing little since they have a full-time income with their job. Regardless of their success, the part-timer feels good about any effort they put towards their business since it is over and above their full-time job commitments. The distributors in their team also see them as committed within the platform of a part-time distributor. The distributor's work habits are created during the part-time phase, but once the platform changes to full-time, the lingering part-time habits create confusion and frustration. The routine plan is no longer a fit for them, and the new comprehensive full-time plan is required to sustain and increase the momentum of their business. The danger was that until the Forensic Networker program, no one was providing these ambitious MLMers with a full-time MLM business plan.
Okay.
The cost of, okay.
So we understand that the way to stay away from this to happen to us is to actually have a separate work plan as a full-timer, which is exactly where a part-time series does 25 hours, a full-time will do 40 hours every week, which goes against, I believe, the more earning I will do, the more I'll grow, the less I'll work. No, this goes hand in hand with real business. When a business expands and grows, it's actually more work, it's not less work, right? So if you do those 40 hours and you maintain a network for at least 5 years, at least 10 better, and you have duplicated massive amount of leaders, yes, at that point, you can probably, throttle a little bit down and might not even need 40 hours. But for those 5 to 10 years, until you stabilize your real business and turn it into a full long-term asset that cannot be broken, you must adopt this forensic mentality of saying 40 hours, not less, but more if you're going to quit a job or quit a business. Commit more to your business in order to bring it from creating it to sustaining it to growing it again. It is not enough to create, because I have seen many times in my life you create and it can fall. So always build according to your plan. Never mind what is happening in your business. Never be comfortable to say, oh, I've got this and this and now it's all going to happen. We are a business of people. And communities require love. They require attention. They require equality. We are teaching each other not through arrogancy or because one of us is better than the other. No, we share a common knowledge of a massive amount of people with their experiences. Okay. This is so important, that part, because I really want everyone on this call today, I want you all to go through the groups and eventually all of you to achieve full time, all of you to achieve $20,000 a month regularly, ongoing and climbing. This is why I believe that all of you will one day need that piece of information that we are covering today, which is the full time part. Okay. Now, let's continue. Would you like me to take another volunteer, Christine, or are you managing this?
No, I can take with the others. It's okay for the others.
Okay. So, do you want to rest? Beatrice, do you want to take over the reading? Although I've brought most of the other panelists for the second part of forensic today. I just want to finish this and we are going to do another part before we finish.
Okay.
Beatrice, do you want to continue from here?
Okay. Okay. When the distributor, the candidate list, when the distributor is part-time, they have access to plenty of prospects that they meet every day at their job or while commuting. Yes. This constant contact with friends and associates makes it much easier to invite people out as guests to meeting. Normally, this should not be a problem for full-time distributors who have proper candidate list of 220 plus names and growing. But since most distributors don't, this becomes a major problem after they have gone full-time.
So to summarize, as soon as we are part-time serious, we still get interaction through our workplaces. We're still there with massive exposure. If we go full-time and we're busy traveling, doing things, we no longer have the same day-to-day contact with new people in order to expose them, to bring them to our candidate list, etc., etc. So that's another dangerous thing when you go full-time. Remember that in our world, learning how to operate on social media, okay, is a big advantage to solve this part of the 8 categories of involvement. Remember, this was written before the pandemic has taught us and almost forced us to really utilize the power of social media. Okay, so this really talks about people going full-time. Now they start to travel. They're no longer in their local market, no longer going to their work, to their gym, to their normal habits, but they're traveling the world. Now they have less access to the normal pipeline building that they used to do when they were part-time and still connected to one area because of a job or a business. I hope that makes sense. We finished that one. Now, on the motivation section, would you like to continue, Beatrice?
Yes, why not? Okay. The motivation. The driving force of most part-time distributors is to go full-time in the MLM businesses, to get time freedom and spend more time with their families. In fact, once you are a full-time MLMer, you are in fact retired, regardless of how hard you're working your business plan. The reason for this is once you have the choice to work when you want and with whom you want, then that is retirement. This driving force is what motivates part-timers to make phone calls, conduct tours, travel, and invest in the businesses. Once distributors go full-time, this driving force is no longer there, and members tend to take the foot off the gas because they have achieved their main promise of time freedom. When this occurs, the following course of events will follow.
Okay, so before we go into
yes, okay.
into what it says, let's just summarize this, that the second part, the first part that is affected when we go full-time is our candidate list, right? It's being affected because we have less connection, as I said before. The second thing that is affected is our motivation as a part-time. You're fighting like a tiger to get out of job, out of what I call slavery. You are motivated to make phone calls to do. But now, if you've achieved your financial freedom in your mind as a full-time, right? Because now you're making nice earnings, you also are losing the motivation to do our daily income generating activities. And when that happens, Beatrice will tell us what follows.
Okay. Confusion, demotivation, lack of action, income loss, and financial crisis.
And financial crisis is usually one level below where we were when we started in the business in the first place. So remember not to fall into that terrible loop, even when you're earning $20,000, $25,000 in a month, such as our sister LD3 Ifra Hassan, which at this point I would very much like for you to get on a microphone and give us 2, 3, 5 minutes, as much as you need, on how it was for you to move from part-time to full-time. Were you already aware of all of this because you've studied forensic, or were you not? Please share with us, because we want all our brothers and sisters to make what you're making now. Are you there, Ifra?
I am. Thank you so much, Ronen, for this opportunity. Hello, good morning, good day, everybody. All right, so when I decided to jump to full-time, it was when I hit 10,000 a month. And the first decision I made was to double and triple my effort than what I was doing before. So before, I was doing maybe 2-3 hours a day, Monday to Friday on my business, because I had the full-time job. And then weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I was doing full-time. But now on average, I do 10 to 12 hours per day in my business, which is triple, if not more, than what I was doing before. So that is something that I realized very quickly on. And I actually did talk to a few people about it. And that was the first advice they gave me. Now that you're going full-time, you need to double, triple, quadruple, do whatever you have to do and work that much harder. So that is how I got to be able to go from 10,000 to 20,000 to now 25, is because I'm constantly putting in more effort than before. So that is just my advice to everybody. You know, once you double whatever you're making right now, as soon as you double, I would say, honestly, because sometimes what happens is you may think, oh, I want to triple, and you wait. But the moment is now. In my case, right, it's the last 6 months that we've had this, you know, incredible growth that we can barely keep up with. So I knew it was the right moment. If I don't get myself out there right now, that I will lose that opportunity. So that is just my advice, is not to wait too long to go full-time, but once you're full-time, make sure that you are doubling and tripling your effort.
Sister LD3 Ifra, were you not scared? Did you have no fears? What did the family say? Just curious. It's a big decision.
Yes, absolutely. You know, Ronen, normally to make a decision like this would scare you, but I've lived this decision for 2 years, right? The day I joined, that is what I've been saying. Everybody I talk to, like my Uber drivers, right? Everybody, I'm going to quit my government job. I'm going to quit. So I lived it for 2 years. So I couldn't wait for it to happen. So in my mind, there was absolutely no doubt that I'm making the right decision. When it comes to my family, because they've heard it as well so many times, for them it was okay. But I know, like my sister, my niece, they're like, are you sure? Are you sure? So yes, it does happen, but I no regrets at all.
Not the way you're going. No regrets for sure. Now let's see if we can get another 100 of our brothers and sisters to exactly where you are, and you are doing it. Really, you, in my opinion, leading the way. We have remarkable leaders, but this is textbook growth, textbook momentum, and I'm very curious, together with you, to see how we take the forensic methodology and sustain it and make it even grow bigger. Thank you very much, sister, for that one. Let us go to the last part, which is, once you finished the 8 categories, reading them as we did, do not be lazy. When somebody invested $1,800 or any money and decided to follow you, it is all about how you bring them in. It's all about the first 2 weeks that will determine if that person will move fast, slow, what will happen. So this part of doing the upline pledge and the 8 categories, to read it with them. Do it like we do. You read a part, they'll read a part, explain the parts for them so the penny will drop. and then get to the last part here and get them to decide. This is your management of expectation. This is both of you looking each other at the eye and saying, we're going to be partners and we're going to make sure that both of us succeed. How we do that? Tell me what category you're in. Now that you read the categories, 5 of them are making money. Sorry, 3 of them are making money. 5 of them do not. Which category do you want? And if they're in any one of the first 5 categories, right? My results thus far should be I'm enjoying the products and really enjoying the social event. That's it. And for you, there's nothing to do with them. Just tell them to enjoy the social attribute of it. But most people start with us because they want to make income. So most people you will bring in probably will choose 6, 7. I've actually had people choose 8 and I had to try and convince them differently, say, let's start with 7 and earn the income and then we'll jump to, but some people said, no, I don't have a job, I don't have a business, I want to put 40 hours. And of course, let them start as full-time, develop the culture correctly. And how do we do that? By telling them, my result thus are just started because it's their first day, okay? And tell them, every 6 months, you do this again. You read this and you fill it again. See if you're in the same category, see if you're in a different category, fill it in, and then we'll put your results thus far as different to your first day today, which is just started. And then changes, enhancement I need to make to fully realize my financial promises. This is the list that you write with them of the management of expectation. In order for you to be in the part-time group, you need, number 1, 20 hours per week, right? If you're part-time, full-time, part-time serious, 25 hours. If you're full-time, 40 hours. So first of all, first line, make sure you both agree and understand how many hours. Number 2, and you might want to write this down as we go through this presentation. I probably should have prepared the one that is written, but it varies from person to person depending on which category. So we'll go through it together. Number 2, make sure you register your activities in a diary, which means if you're part-time serious, 25 hours in your Google Calendar are locked in a particular color, whatever it will be, blue, purple, pink, I don't care. That 25 hours belong to your business, not to you. And you will identify them according to your life, and I will help you to fill it in with 15-minute activities for every 1 hour. Okay? So number 2, fill the diary, fill your activities and fill a diary and work in front of the diary. Number 3, never miss corporate events, webinars, and any form of training that belongs to your company, region, and family. If you guys didn't have time to write this, when I get the recording done, I'll send it. You can pause, you can write it down for yourself so you know what to write down for your people, okay? Never miss training, seminars, and main events. Those are a must. If there is a local tour in your area, not Corona time or not a quarantined area, don't miss supporting your team and never go on your own. Always bring prospects. If you're not bringing prospects, talk to your MiFi, find out what you're doing wrong, okay? Number 4, work with the Opulence duplicatable system only to promote the business. Number 5, manage and monitor your business only with forensic networking, with the forensic networking system. Number 7, work with the forensic networker tools such as the MO box and reporting sheets. Number 8, meet with your personal enroller, either online or face-to-face, twice a week for a minimum of half an hour.
I'm sorry, Ronen, what you're reading right now, people are
Yep.
not able to see.
No, I know. That's why I'm not actually reading it. This is in here. I didn't have it written down. And that's why I said when you get the recording, take this section, move to this part. This is minute, what are we, 50 almost? You'll see towards the end maybe. And you can basically take those methodologies and write them down yourself. Once you have it written down, you'll be able to duplicate. I have someone raised hands. Can one of the panelists help me with that one? To bring them in. I just want to make sure that, oh, actually this is recorded, so it's all in there. I apologize for everybody that I didn't have the time to prepare the slide I wanted for that part, but that's why it is recorded. I will release it on Opulence Lifestyle Family, and you can write all those things down. If someone will follow all of what I just said, those pointers, they will have a remarkable business experience. Now, I know somebody raised their hands. I'll finish with this. Stop sharing for a second. Thank
They
you.
put down by mistake, it looks like.
Okay, so if there's anybody that has questions at all, please feel free to write them in the text or in the question and answers, and all my wonderful co-hosts will be able to either tell me or answer you in writing. I want to go, unless there is, I think it was clear enough. Do we have any questions at all, even from the panelist or co-host regarding that last page, or can I move to the last part of our training?
Short question, Ronen. About you said about the forensic sheet. Where do we find them? Because on our back office, there's no. I'm using the old one.
Okay, we have put them many times in the Opulence Lifestyle Family. Let me see, Julia, is there a possibility for you to send Christine directly the 8 categories of involvement? And the last page I was just showing is the last page of the 8 categories of involvement.
No, Ronen. Excuse. I think yes. I have the 8 categories. But I mean the forensic, the DMO daily sheet where we put the different tours, calls.
I will let Julia answer you, please.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I'll send it in the Lifestyle Family WhatsApp group so everybody will have it. It's a PDF file, so you can print it.
Okay, thank you.
Okie dokie. If there's no other questions, let's go to our last part and we will finish our call. I want the panelists to, if they have any comments during this last section, please feel free to do so. We officially finished. Actually, I might do a separate recording. No, I'll do it like last time. Okay, so we officially finished the 8 categories of involvement training, and we are now moving to, let me see. I just want to see how this will work here so I can share it. Let's see. Okay. At the moment, can anybody see my slide?
No, we can see you.
Okay, good. So we'll go back in here and we will share the screen. Let's see what's up. PowerPoint, where's the PowerPoint? How about now? Can anybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, what if I do this, the show? Can you guys, let's see if it works. My computer is struggling a little bit. Come on, give us a show. We want a show. Resume slideshow. How about that?
It's rolling, so.
It's rolling? Who's rolling? I do not know why I'm not managing to work with this thing. Come on, give us a slideshow. Okay, it's not working, so let me try and do this. Okay, F5 maybe? Function F5. Let's see what it does. Don't know why it's not working for me. Let's try this again, see how that works. Okay, so this one I have, but you cannot see my slide. So I'll share my screen, maybe that will be better. Let's try this one, see if it works. Okay, how about now? Can we see that? Wonderful. Yes. So for the last few minutes that we have, I would like to start a new topic that we will continue over the next few weeks. Ramin Mazgalu, the owner and founder and writer of the Forensic Networker, have done these trainings on the forensic corporate training, and I thought it would be important for me to do it, and for the new momentum group that Julia is now coordinating to be able to translate to many other languages through amazing people like Jolita and Beatrice, and I don't know, Julia knows all the people that are doing all the different languages. I would like to start with that topic because that is really very, very powerful, and we should all learn most or all of those 38 mistakes networkers make that harms or ends their MLM career. So if any one of the panelists identifies either from things he's seen in his experience or about themselves, please share, because I would like everyone to see that those mistakes, most of them we can't avoid. We actually have to make them in order to grow and become more. Okay, so today we'll probably go over one, maybe two, and we will continue next Thursday on our forensic lifestyle training. So let us begin. The first mistake: never work with the laptop that doesn't work fast. No, I'm joking. Come on. First mistake. There we go. That is a big one to everyone. And as I said, any one of the panelists, if you feel like you have been through it, know people have been through it, please feel free to share. Let me cover the slide. Stop self-attacking. I can't do this business. We're talking about those demons that are sitting in our heads, okay? It is not me. I am not like them. Them, usually people that seem to be successful in this business. They think adversities are unique to them. Whether you think you can or can't, you are right. Henry Ford said that. And remember, you are either in a positive affirmation mode or a self-attacking mode. I've actually shared, and this is a perfect slide to share it with, I shared today with one of my partners an interesting theory, and I said about my life that when I look at what is really destroying most people in our industry and in most business is actually this section. And I said, if people can only see the theory that our job is like a farmer, our job is to take a bag of seeds, the same amount every day, and go to the field and throw these seeds. And a farmer knows different things to what a salesman does not know. You see, a salesman would go and take those seeds and throw them and will expect every seed to go and grow. A salesman will not understand that some seeds will fall on a rock, burn in the sun. Some will go in the ground and will not grow. And unfortunately, the salesman mentality, every time one of those seeds did not grow up or burnt or didn't go in the ground, they will look at that seed and they will say, I can't do this business. It's not me. Look, I've thrown the seeds and not all of them have grown, and I'm not like the other people out there that seem like they have growths of fields growing, okay? And it seems like I'm the only one that has adversities. Now, a farmer, which is a tip I want to give all of you, a farmer doesn't think that way. A farmer takes the same amount of seeds every day, he throws them, and he knows that he doesn't have to worry about what happened with the seed because all he has to see if it's grown. Once it's grown out of the ground, now he's going to water that. And yes, every day he's going to take some weeds out. He's expecting some seeds not to catch. He's expecting, because he's only going to focus on what he does every day. And he knows that at the end there's going to be fruits. He's not killing himself every day because the seed didn't come out of the ground. Now, if you can adopt that concept, and if you can truly see your process through getting someone online to actually just even doing protocol 1, sending a happy birthday to someone, that's a seed. If every time you send a happy birthday to someone and they didn't respond, and you will break yourself to pieces and say, wow, man, I don't know, I can't do this business. It's just not me. You will destroy your chances to ever achieve anything in life, not just in our industry. I'm going to do only one today to give you a taste for next week so we can come and do 3, 4, 5 maybe. But before I finish, I really want any one of the panelists, please feel free and tell me whatever you have to say about this stop self-attacking slide, this particular mistake. We have 6 minutes. Any one of you, please share.
If it's okay, I want to share.
Please.
I was a master at that. I was a master in that when I first started a business 5 years ago. I wasn't really into personal development. I was, in my mind, it's like other people's opinion of me is very important, and it seems how I adopted it. And when something goes wrong, I just like, Christine, you didn't make it, or I don't have a lot of motivation because I did wrong, or I didn't do the right thing, or I didn't see the result that I was expecting, and that was not a good place to be. So little by little, step by step, I started to change that. So it took me time. Took me time to grow. It took me time to understand, and also to stop attacking myself for the things that it's not really important. Like it said here, the little voice in my mind telling me I can't do this, or I don't have the right education, or something like that. So when it comes in my mind, I just need to remind myself million times in a day, every day, to tell that voice to stop and just do the opposite of what it is telling me. So
Thank
yeah,
you,
I just want to
Christine.
share that with you.
Thank you very much. And remember, all of us have to remember this. You are either in a positive affirmation mode or a self-attacking mode. That is it. That's where the rest is not important. Either you lift yourself, grow, or you will always self-attack and destroy. Thank you for sharing this. LD2 Miriam Adam, are you with us? I'm just curious, have
Yes.
you ever been self-attacking yourself in this industry?
Yes, definitely.
Please
But
share.
I learned through it. You know, when because of the language barrier, I do speak Somali, but not that great, right? And that was my biggest challenge at the beginning. You bring people who speak your own language, and then they want you to explain to them in Somali language, and I could not do it. So that was the downfall. And then I quit. I couldn't do it. I didn't say, okay, let me just go now from outside the community. But learning from others, it's a great achievement. So right now, even I'm starting learning even proper Somali.
And I heard that
So,
you're doing a presentation in Somalia. I know I've spoken to some very interesting prospects of you from Tanzania.
No, I'm doing a presentation in Swahili because I follow the
Swahili.
language. I'm strong with it. I speak more Swahili. Like I'm a Somali background, but born and raised in Tanzania. So I speak more Swahili than Somali.
Well, I can promise
But
you,
I understand Somali very well. It's only I cannot speak fluently.
you definitely don't want to. You don't want to see me doing a Swahili or Somali presentation. Not yet. I don't think so. Thank you very much for
But
sharing. Thank you very
the
much.
beauty, what I've learned, it's to utilize all the training and all the webinars of all different languages. Like I have people speak French now, I send them to the French. So I learn there's no excuse. Don't attack yourself. Like utilize what you have and duplicate the system. Simple.
100%. Thank you for sharing LD2, Miriam, Adam, and how about my co-host Yulia Alexashin? Did you ever be or find yourself in a place that you were at self-attacking yourself?
So many times. I had a period of time that I could be motivated and positive affirmation one day, and the next day would be like horrible self-attacking. So it was the wrong version of ping pong because it was destructive. And now I think I'm on a better track because I stop attacking myself and I really believe I can do it. And the thing you said, like with the farmer eyes, that every action that we do is actually planting seeds. So it helps you keep your mind more positive and understand that the more action you do, the more seeds will grow. So I stopped attacking myself, and I really hope I will keep that that way.
Thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, I guess it's important for all of us to remember we are human. We're affected by many different things. We're affected astrology-wise. We're affected emotionally by our influences, by what we do to ourselves. So it's very logical for us to grow and learn self-development and self-awareness slowly, and to learn those very, very important topics. I believe that if somebody would teach us in kindergarten some of these concepts, life would probably have been, I don't know if to call it easier, but we probably would have created much less damage to ourselves. And I guess this is where I will finish our session of forensic today, with proving once again that we are in much more than just in a business, and we are much more than just in a network. We're actually a family. And the idea is that we take all the tools from here and we bring them out to the world, even to the people that are not with us in this particular platform or this particular business. The idea is to bring it everywhere. Would you not want your kids at the age of 5 knowing concepts such as Henry Ford has taught us here? The person that says I can and the person that says I cannot, they're both right. Wouldn't you want your own kids to know those things at an early age? Wouldn't you want your kids to have better self-awareness of themselves, to have self-development, to be lifted instead of put down? You see, those concepts are impactful in everything we do in our life, and we together as a family, because we are connected by a desire to improve our life physically, mentally, financially, and spiritually. The physical health and the financial health comes from opulence. The mental and spiritual, it comes from the forensic and from all of us, each and every one of us. That's why I keep saying we're all equal. We all must love each other. And yes, in our family, we can choose the people we like, so they might be closer friends, but even a family member that I might not like because we don't get along, I will love them always like a family and will never stand in their way. So I ask of all of you, Understand your upline pledge. It is not just for the business. It is the person that I wish to be towards everyone. Remember your 8 categories of involvement. It's a crystal ball that shows your new person what they might be able to earn if they follow a particular regime of activity, but they don't know any of this when they start. So it's your job to share, to teach, to know, and to guide them and manage the expectations. And remember, we're going to have a lot of fun over the next few weeks with the 38 mistakes. And today we had a little bit of a taste of the first one. And we see that even this first one has hit each and every one of us at some stage of our life. I wish you all an amazing...
May I add something? May I add
Yes,
something just
please,
shortly at the
please,
end?
please.
Yes, I just want to add something that, of course, I also had my challenges, but I don't want to get into that. It's just very good to hear that every one of the panelists also deals with the same challenges. So we are all not alone. We are all having the same challenges, and it's very good to hear. So this is it. It gives us power and strength to go on. So thank you for being that open.
Thank you very much, Beatrice, both for this and for helping me to read before. And I will bid everyone goodbye. I'll stop the recording for a second. And now, if anybody wants, now that the recording is off,